now have the World Championship prediction event happening, so I just want to give my thoughts on some of the teams, because there's some nice rewards you can actually gain. We have some gold right here, so almost enough to, buy maybe new Pokemon. So if you get a lot right, you can also get a trainer outfit as well on top of it. And we also have the WCS Spectator campaign, where you can also win some stuff right here if you spectate the event, which will be on the 11th and 12th of August. And there's some, there's some cool rewards in here, but of course this is like a lottery thing. But yeah, let's go to the real part, which is the prediction. And you can predict the first, second, and third place in this. And of course, I'm pretty sure some of you want to know what my, opinion is going to be on this. So we have a lot of teams right here. You can check out the teams are here from every single region. And if we look at the World Championship from last year as well, there's still some of the same teams that also played last year. Still kind of in it. I'm going to just pull up some stats in a second as well. But I think the safest bet for you to win is probably going to be Talibobo Esports. Or not Talibobo Esports, just Talibobo Believers. They're not even esports, that's nouns. Talibobo Believers is probably the highest chance that they're for sure the favorites going into this tournament. And it's the world's tournament. Of course, it can always go different, right? And they might not make it. Again, nothing of this is guaranteed, so don't just blindly trust me. I'm just here to give my opinion. And, looking basically straight up at stats, right? Tali pretty much have won everything. You could have won Europe except for one tournament. So if we look at their history right here, in one of the strongest regions as well, Europe is a very strong region. You can see they won the February finals, they won the March finals, they won the EOS Cup, which was also an offline tournament, which means they can play at offline tournaments, right? It's always different between playing from home and actually playing in front of a crowd. And Tali has shown that they can play in front of a crowd by winning the EOS Cup over Nouns Esports. Then they got second. This time they lost to Nouns. They won again, and they also became the European champion in the regionals. So, Nouns Esports, they were second at the World Championship last year, as you can see right here. Here's the World Championship from last year. Nouns Esports got second, and since then they didn't have a roster change either. No, they had one roster change. Instead of Redmore, they now have 6Es, so it's a bit different. But besides that, they're kind of the same team. And they had a great performance last year. But there's a lot of underdog teams as well. So last year, for example, we had Renaissance from Asia Pacific making a very good run as well. And we had T2 from Japan making a good run. We actually had a very good top four. We had a North American team, European team, one from Asia Pacific and one from Japan. So it was actually quite nice of the worlds last year. And I think, Black Hand, which is now Luminosity Gaming, is also a good chance of, winning this entire thing again. Because they also only changed one player after becoming the world champion. Of course, they have struggled a bit this year. So if you look at the record of... they didn't even win the region, right? They got second place, because TTV actually won. If you look at Luminosity Gaming right here. Actually, in the end, it's third place. They're not even second place, but they got second at the regionals. They didn't have a good year. They did not have a good year. Okay, we can't look at this, but they pretty much just got... They didn't qualify for one of the finals. Then they got third at the EOS Cup. They got... This one they won. They won the April finals, May finals they got third, and then regionals they got second. But I think betting on a North American team is quite different or risky, because I feel like none of the American teams have really been very consistent across the entire year. If you want to look for a consistent team, I think Talibobo Believers is for sure going to be, the best pick. And I think Talibobo for sure is gonna... it's the safest choice. If you want to go for the safe choice, pretty sure Talibobo Believers is gonna take, or has the highest chance of being first place. Now we also have to bet for the second and third one, and this is quite tricky. There's a lot of candidates for this. If you look at all the teams as well, I'm gonna bring up something else, or here, there's a lot of different teams. So yeah, locked in the Talibobo Believers for gold now. Then we have to again do silver and bronze as well. And for the second place, it is quite difficult. So we have a lot of teams right here from a lot of regions. Secret Ship from Japan is, I think, one of the underdogs. They have won in Japan. They're the Japan champions, but they had a terrible year. They never placed high in any of the tournaments. They got into the Japanese championship in the last qualifier. So in the last qualifier, in the last chance qualifier, they made it towards this right here and then just won it. So very impressive that they won this tournament. not being one of the favorites, because the favorites was Oyasumi Makro, which is the team of Mame, which was in T2 last year, who got top 4. So Mame and Mame was for sure, like, this team was one of the favorites. And actually, Japan seed 4. And I think they're still one of the teams that have a high chance of, still making top 3 as well. So I would say, even though they're the Japan 4 seed, I think they're still one of the favorites to actually make a good run. Then we have, of course, Nouns Esports. Nouns Esports, 2nd place last year at the World Championship. Yeah, of course. I mean, they're big favorites as well. So they know they can play at offline tournaments. They got destroyed by Blackhand last year, but still. So for 2nd place, then there's also Orangutan, which is also a very strong team. They got only 2nd on the East one. This is High Five, who won the Asia Champions League. So also another team that is just very, very strong. TTV, of course. I don't know about OO Nation. I don't know. Brazil at the last World Championship sadly didn't perform all too well. Here they got out, but they had a difficult group, right? They were in a group with IX Gaming and Nouns. And but I think they still have a chance for sure. I do think OO Nation, of course, I think they won pretty much everything in Brazil this year, right? First, okay, sometimes 1 second, first. Looking pretty dominant, and they're for sure someone to look out for. Are they going to be top 3? I don't think so. Do they have a chance maybe getting there? Yeah, but for the 2nd place, so it's either TTV, I think Nouns Esports. Teams from Asia Pacific are also not to be underestimated. Like these two right here are not to be underestimated. And Team Peps could also be an underdog of maybe making the grand final. But I think the safe bets are Nouns Esports, LG, and TTV. I think those are by far the safest bets for 2nd. And it's a difficult choice. It is a very difficult choice, but I do think that, especially Overlord at these kind of tournaments, if he finds a good run, he's just going to take over, really. I mean, we might still bring the North American and Europe copium right here, but I do think North America and Europe are still the best regions. And at least personally, I think they're still the best regions. And then we also have for 3rd place. 3rd place is also going to be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. We have, again, Oyasumi Makro, TTV, Nouns Esports. But I do think it's probably going to be... I mean, again, I'm going for the safest bets right now. I think what I'm doing right now are the safest bets you can probably go for. Right? Like, something like this would be very safe. And then you can obviously change, like, these 2 around or this. Like, these 3 teams, I think, are my favorites for this tournament. Especially because Nouns Esports is a team that is very good at, like, high-stake tournaments, and they always bring something in. But then they struggled also at the last thing. This could also be something. But yeah, I think if you pick any, so this is what something could look like as well. I think for the top 3, you just pick any of like these teams. So Tali, TTV, Oyasumi Makro. Even though they're 4 seed from Japan, I think they might make a good run. They're a very talented team. Orangutan is also something you shouldn't be underestimating. Team Peps, Nouns Esports, Luminosity Gaming. I'm not sure how to judge Amaterasu. I don't think they are a top 3 potential team, but they can always make it, of course, right? But I do think AG and TTV have higher chances from, North America. Time to Shine is the 4th seed from Europe. I think they can also make a good run. Is it going to be enough for top 3? I don't think so. So yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of want to go for something else here. I mean, I do like TTV a lot, and they won the regionals and the championship. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough for the World Championship. But yeah, this is like all the teams I can give you. Just mix them around a tiny bit, see what you like and prefer. Again, I'm not taking any responsibility for your picks. Just saying, okay, so, if you end up losing because of me, not my fault. I'm just giving you here some tips. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.